There's a benefit to being snowed in on a mountaintop, is that you can get a lot done. But that's not the only reason I'm doing this. I'm at a stage in my life where I've enjoyed so much. I've had such a good life. I've had a lot of tragedy, a lot of heartache, but I've had an amazing life. And I've lived out every dream to the extent that I wanted to. Started really functioning as Dream Maker. That was my nickname 40 years ago. And but what I'm doing right now, the hat I'm wearing right now, okay? You see the title, "It's All in Your Mind?" Question mark. Life coaching moment with Father Fricker. I don't know why, but a while back, I started being called Father Fricker. I'm not quite sure how it happened. It's kind of funny. No, I'm not a priest. I am an ordained minister since 1993, but I'm not a priest. But I had a Bible college professor that was up north, and he was dressed all in black, and awesome man, incredible inspiration, Terry Bolin, and he was getting a soft drink. I don't know if this was Pennsylvania or what, maybe Minnesota, whatever. But he was about to pay for the drink, and the guy said, oh no, Father, it's on the house." And he goes, "Bless you, my son." I guess technically it's still true, right? And pretty funny, but all that to say is, there's another reason I think that I got the nickname Father Fricker. I have spiritual sons and some spiritual daughters, but I just feel that there's a lot of you out there that maybe you don't have your dad around right now. I know what it's like to lose my father when I was 10. And I know what it's like to have a wonderful adopted father when my mother got remarried. But through the years working with at-risk kids, every major statistic of prison, drug addiction, divorce, promiscuity, self-destruction, it is always higher without a father. And that's not for any reason at all. It's very specific. We need father figures in our lives. Well, today I'm going to give you a father moment. Some of you, again, you may not have your dad in your life. And for just a few moments, I'll talk to you like your dad. And I'll encourage you if that's okay, Again, this is part of what I do. You see on the surface a fun show called Mina Spotlight, but what I really do is this, consulting and speaking and coaching, and I have an amazing life. To me, I do a lot of different things in the eyes of other people. To me, I'm just one thing. I'm an encourager. In Tulsa, I was the radio guy, the music guy. Oklahoma City, the recording artist. Amarillo, the TV motivational guy on CBS segments. West Texas, a TV guy or a music guy. Hey, look, I'm just one guy that encourages people. So let me give you the goods. And another reason is too, about 3 months ago, I spent a night trying to get back into my body. So I know what it's like not to be here in this. And I'm not wasting a day. Some of you are saying, "Brant, man, you're taking off. You're on fire." I appreciate that. But I'm not doing this for likes or follows. I really could care less about that. But I care about you. And I care about speaking into your life with the life I have left, okay? I'm older than I look, but I'm an old soul too, and I'm very fortunate. I'm very grateful. A grateful heart will save your life. But a little dad talk here, if you don't mind. And that is, it's all in your mind. What does that mean? Well, there's an old Chinese proverb that says, if you sow a thought, you reap an action. If you sow an action, you reap a habit. If you sow a habit, you reap a character. And if you sow a character, you reap a destiny. I want you to think about that. So if you sow a thought, you reap a habit. If you sow a habit, right? You sow a thought, you reap an action. If you sow an action, you reap a habit. If you sow a habit, you reap a character. You sow a character, you reap a destiny. It starts in your mind. 90% of the things you're worrying about don't ever happen. They never happen. So getting upset about it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the outcome. It starts in your mind. So many years ago, gosh, over 30 years ago, I remember taking a glass of water for a group of people, and I filled that glass of water halfway, and the old sayings: if it's halfway full, then you're an optimist, and if it's half empty, then you're a pessimist, right? But the stupid glass of water, it doesn't change. If the glass is half full, then you're sowing a thought. Wow, this is half full. Wow. Gratitude, right? That's a positive action. Positive thought leads to a positive action. Wow. That positive action will lead to a positive habit. That positive habit will lead to a positive character. And that positive character will lead to a positive destiny. But the reverse is true. If it's half empty, then it's negative. It's lack. A negative thought will lead to a negative action. A negative action will lead to a negative habit. Man, I'm speaking death over myself. I'm speaking defeat or negativity. That's why gossip is so, even the frequency is destructive to you. A negative action, now a negative habit. I don't want to make a habit of being in the negative. Who wants to be in the negative, right? And then a negative habit, a negative character, a negative destiny. Usually the first thought that we have is whether it's positive or negative, will lead to an action, and it's usually the words. Boy, do I need to work on my words. Always have. I mean, I know what it's like to have a half empty cup. And man, I know what it's like to be broke. But because I chose to snap out of negativity, and I chose to think of the positive, then the words that came out of my mouth were positive. I will make it just fine. I will persevere. I will have victory. And so those words, and for some of you, maybe that's turning on worship music, or what. You don't have to be a churchy person or a religious person to enjoy worship music. Simon Cowell of American Idol and The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, his favorite music is gospel music. I don't know if Simon's religious or not, but what I'm saying is, fill your mind with those positive things. It works. And so by the end of the day, I had $1,000 check. I did it twice. But it only started not because of the circumstance. It started because of my chosen thoughts. What's the positive? What do I speak into this right now? What energy am I putting into this? And so, okay, I will make it. So a positive action, okay, positive habit. I'm going to hustle, man. I'm gonna stop the world, and I'm gonna see the good in this, and then I'm going to take an action. I'm gonna make a phone call to a client that needs my help, that maybe I was so busy before to help, and then, hey, I'm making a positive habit. I'm not going to lose any time worrying. Someone famous once said, you can't add an hour to your life by worrying. No, I'm going to think positive. I live it. And so, okay, well, I'm going to call him. I'm going to do it. And I'm not just going to do it with one. And then positive character. I'm going to do what I say. I'm going to say what I do. I'm going to catch up. A lot of you are catching up right now. This is day number 9, man. I'm going to catch up, and then that's going to lead to a positive destiny, and it has. And so, anyway, but the reverse is true. Negative thoughts. I was walking in Phoenix, Arizona. Gosh, this was 27 years ago, and I was with this guy. My background was crisis counseling in my education, but I was with this guy at a retreat, and he said, "You see that person? The person's walking down the street, and they're angry, and they're shouting, and all that." He said, "That's the most selfish person in the world." And I thought, what? Man, cut him some slack. Maybe he's going through a hard time. No, that's the most selfish person in the world. Why? Because he's so self-consumed in his own problems. He's got nothing to offer the world. You think your life was an accident? You think you were born to pay bills and die? No, man. That's an insult to your bloodline. That's an insult to who you are. Don't cut yourself short. So as we go along in these weeks, you're going to learn, and I'm sure, through a lot of people, but you're going to learn how to revolutionize your life. This is the perfect time when people are at home during the weather, this weird storm, okay? It's a good time to reset your life and to re-gauge and know that it all starts in the mind. Most of what you worry about, most of what you're angry about, it never happens. It never happens. So what else can you do? Well, stop the world and take a pen and a pad and write down the things you're grateful for. Do it. Write down the things you're grateful for. Maybe you need to listen to some old music that takes you back to a better time. I did that. And from that came a whole series of CBS segments and local TV segments of interviewing rock stars and movie stars and people from back in the day that were my heroes. Now they're my friends. It's crazy, man. But that started from a moment of choosing to reset my mind, to control my mind, and to change, literally to change my life. So write down all the things you're grateful for and read them out aloud. And you will position yourself mentally to have positive thoughts, positive action, positive habits, positive character, positive destiny, or the other. So be encouraged, okay? Don't sweat the small stuff, kid. This is a little Father Fricker dad moment. And I pray for all of your success today. So reset your life. You will go back to your life a different person. It'll affect your life. It will affect your marriage in a good way. It will positively impact your parenting. You're dealing with people, your cells, whatever. It'll change your life if you get it right in your mind first. So good thoughts. You're right. Reap good actions. Sow good actions, reap good habits. Sow good habits, reap good character. Sow good character, reap a good destiny. If I can do it and still do it at age 56, you can do it too.